Before your website is live on WordPress, there are some things you need to do in your WordPress settings. So today we're going to be looking at the WordPress settings, what you need to know about it, and the things you need to do before you finally put your website from the local server to the live server. Right? If you are joining this course or this tutorial for the first time, welcome to the WordPress tutorial, beginner to advanced level. I will be taking you from absolute beginner to advanced user of WordPress. All right, today we're going to be looking at understanding WordPress settings. Understanding WordPress settings. Like I said earlier, you need to know some things before your website is on the live server. All right, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. It will help me, to push this video across to more audience. All right, so let's get started. Don't forget, WordPress, before you can get into your WordPress dashboard, you need to have your local by flywheel running, and then you need to have that particular site you're working on started. This is already started, and you need to ensure your one-click admin is turned on. So when it's turned on, you just click on WP admin, and your default browser is going to take you to this page. All right, so this is your default dashboard. All right, so in today's lesson, we'll be looking at WordPress settings. So this is exactly what we have in the settings. So when you click on it, you're going to open the WordPress settings homepage, like the homepage of that particular page. It's an option page, but when you click on settings, you're gonna see a page like this. All right, let me zoom in. When you see a page like this, you see this is your site title. It must match your domain name or whatever your site is all about. Right? This is your tagline. Tagline is like it is said here. It explains what your site is about. Maybe just another WordPress site. Maybe a website for job application. Maybe a tutorial site in Nigeria, in Lagos, in United States of America. Stuff like that, and it must be SEO friendly. As a rule of thumb, we recommend it is around 60 to 70 characters, right? It's around 60 to 70 characters. That is when the search engine can capture your your site tagline. Right? This is your site icon. This site icon is when you look at this Google slide, you see this yellow icon. And when you look at this particular page you see that we have this WordPress icon. That is the site icon. It is that icon that shows whenever a user is on your website, so they will know, okay, they're on this particular site. Right? That is what the site icon is about, and the size is just 512 by 512 pixel. So if you are designing it in graphics, you need to take that in mind. You need to have that in mind. All right. So this is your WordPress address URL. This is your WordPress address URL, and this is your site address URL. So if you want to change the address of your homepage, you can change this. But as it said here, enter the same address here unless you want your site homepage to be different from your WordPress installation. If you want the homepage to be different, you can just change here. All right. But most of the times we use these two areas when we are working on WordPress in the headless approach. When you want to use WordPress as a backend and maybe Next or React on the front end, you tamper with this area. But if you are not doing that, if you are not working using Webpack to bundle your scripts and you want to ensure you have like a hot model reload, you can just leave it as it is. And then this is your administration email address. This will be the email address of the admin, like the super admin. All right, be the email address. If you want to change this, all you have to do is remove this, put in the email you want to use, and you scroll down, save changes. So when you save changes, you see a notification that you need to confirm that particular email. And then if there is no issue with your WordPress sending email out, you will receive that particular email to confirm that you want to change your admin email address. All right. So membership. If you toggle this on, it means anyone can register on your site, unless you have a website where you require people to register and log in. Do not turn this on. All right. Do not check this membership unless you have a feature where people needs to register and log in. Maybe you have a membership site or you have a website where you are, teaching people, you have tutorials, people need to register or log in to buy stuff from you, then you need to turn this on. You need to check this. If you don't have anything that requires people to register, do not check this. And then, so when people register, there are some roles that are attached. Like when you register someone, is he an admin? Is he an author? Is he an editor? So you need to set this to the role that you want to give whoever register on your site. Right? Is it subscriber? Is he contributor? Is he author? Is he editor? Is he another admin? Whatever you do, ensure you do not put it in admin. But since you are not requiring anyone to register, or people are not registering on your site, there's no need to do anything here. Just leave it as it is. Even if those bad guys are able to register on your site, they still have the role of subscriber. Maybe they have bots that are that are just scrolling doing registration. It will be as a subscriber, and as a subscriber, you don't have access to anything on the website. Right? You can set your site language depending on the language you want to use. You can set it. You can set your time zone depending on the on your location. And then date format. How you want the date format on your website to be output. Is it June 24, 2025? You can see the format here. So this is how it will be output. If depending on which of the options you select. And the time format also, how the time on your website will be displayed. And then when the week starts, if your week starts on Wednesday, you just put it on Wednesday. Then when you are done setting it up like that, you click on save. Then you go to writing. So on writing is where you do this. The most important thing you need to just do here is by default, your post category will be uncategorized by default. So when you click on when you click this place, you see a list of your post categories. It is showing categorized now only because we do not have any post categories. So if I go ahead to the post and set my post categories, you see the list of categories here. So depending on the most frequent category you publish articles on, let's say you have a robust blog on a website, or your website is majorly for blogging, depending on that, that hot category you usually publish articles on, you can just put it as your default category. So before you publish your post, you can decide which of the category that particular post falls into. And then your post format, is standard. It's as if it's chart, if it's gallery, if it's link, depending on the content of that particular post. Right? You also have access to all this in your single post page where you are publishing that particular post, where you are writing and publishing it. You have access to this. But if if you can programmatically, if you're already a developer, you're already coding inside WordPress, be able to remove some of these things that you don't need and include only the things that you need. All right, by default it will be in standard. Right, so you don't necessarily need this, but if you want to post article via email, you need to have this set up. This will be from your email, from the cPanel. You can ask your hosting support for how to go about this. Then update service. These are just like a cron jobs. These are what happens whenever you publish an article or a page. So the site or the URLs you have here will be pinged. Like they'll be notified that this website has a new page or has a new article, as an updated article. So this helps in ensuring your website is crawled faster. It helps. Not most of the times, but it helps. Right. So when you are done with whatever you are doing here, you save the changes also. Then you go to your reading. So when you get to your reading, now when you want to build a site on WordPress, you need to determine if you are building a blog, if it's just for blogging, or a corporate website. Right? Now, if you want a website to have a unique homepage, if you want your website to have a unique homepage, you need to make it a static page. All right. So when you select a static page, you then select the particular page that you've designed or developed that you want to use as your home page. So when you select that page from here, it will come from the pages that you've created. Either you are using a page builder or you are coding the theme yourself, you select that particular page that you want to use as your own page, right? Then you select the page that you want to use as your post, which will be the blog page now. Usually, we name it blog. That particular page is usually named blog. So you select it from here. So when you save the changes, you won't see the latest post as your own page again. All right, you now see that particular page that you've selected to use as your own page on the front page. All right, so before in our next video, I'll do a demonstration of this so you see. Just telling you now, if you don't want to use your latest post as your own page, you need to select a static page and then select the page you want to use as home, and then you can select the page you want to use as a blog page. So that particular page you selected as your home page, we have the front page, and then this one we have this will be index. Your post page will be index. Let's say you are developing the code yourself. The post page will be index, and this your front page will be front-page.php if you are developing the code yourself. All right. So in your blog archive, like the blog page itself, that where you see the list of posts, how many posts do you want to show at a time? So that is what you will have here. If you want to show 10, you want to show 100, but it's advisable to make it as so you know this post will be query from your database. So the longer or the more they are, the longer it will take. So it may end up in slowing your site down. Imagine you have 100 posts that have to be shown at a time to slow your database query down, right? And then syndication feed. This is if you are using RRS feed and people are having you are sending feed to people to their email to show the number of your most recent 10 posts. If people subscribe to your website or your blog's RSS feed, it will show 10 items to them in their email. So you can do this whichever way you want it. Then for each of the posts, you cannot make it full text, just make it excerpt, and then you can click on read more and come back to your website to finish the article. All right. So search engine visibility. This is important. Now, you can only discourage this if one, you are working locally like we are now. You are working on local server, or the URL you are using or the domain you are using is on a subdomain or a staging domain that you don't want search engine or crawlers to have access to. You don't want it to rank. You don't want it to mess up what you already have on your live server, on your live domain. All right. Those are the only two categories. Those are the only two situations that you can warrant you checking this search engine visibility. So before you check it, you need to ensure okay, you don't want your website to be crawled by search engine or to be indexed. You can check it. Or the domain you are using, you don't want it to be indexed because you already have the same content on another domain, but you are using that staging domain to make some structural changes to your website. And then when you are done with the changes, you push to that live domain. If that is the case, you can discourage search engines from indexing your site. It is now up to search engine to honor this request, but most of the time the request is honored. Right? Don't forget search engine visibility. If you check it while you are working locally and when your website is live on a live domain, ensure you uncheck, right? And then when you are done, you click on save changes. So for the discussion is just the settings for comment. You can attempt to notify any blog linked to from the post. If you are linking to external websites, you can notify them. Some may repay the kindness, and then allow notification from other blogs. You need to uncheck this because if your website becomes popular and you have popular articles and 150, 500 websites or blogs are linking to that article, it doesn't make sense when it comes to your website speed. All right, because most of those things will be coming back to your website. You can just turn it off. You don't need to have that notification because each of the notification will be like a comment on that particular article. So if you have an article A and you have like 100 link back to it, 100 websites linked back to the article, you just have like 100 comments, which is not good on your disk space, server space, and the like. Just turn it off. Then, if you want people to drop comment on new posts, you can check this, but you don't want people to drop comment on your blog post, you can uncheck. And then for the other comment settings, if you want the people that are commenting to have their name and email feed, you check this, which is advisable. And then if you want user to be registered, you check it, which means your website is like a forum, or you are requiring people to register before they can drop comments. And then when you are using this, it means in your general settings, you must turn the membership registration on. You must check it. Right? Without that, they won't be able to register. And if they are not able to register and you are using user must be registered and logged into comments, they won't be able to drop comment. Right? If you want to automatically close comment on old posts, maybe you already have posts running and you want to recheck, you want to do some settings, some house cleaning, you want to close comment on those posts, you can do it, and then you can close comment on post that is 14-day old, maybe 365-day old, maybe when your post is 1 year old, you want to restrict commenting on that, on them, you can do this. But if you don't want to, you can just leave it unchecked. Okay, when you are dropping comment on websites, you see your email and username, website address, will be in that particular website cookies, but you don't want users' details to be like that. So next time they want to log in, they want to drop comment. Sorry, next time they want to drop comment, they don't have to be entering their name, their email, or if you have the URL feed open, they won't have to drop those. You can check or check depending on how you want it to be. You want to enable threaded comment. Maybe you comment on my post and I comment on that your own comment. Like you reply, I reply under your reply. We keep replying under each other's replies. Right? If you want to have that, you can enable this or disable depending on how you want it. Then comment pagination. You cannot let's say you have a very vibrant or popular site or blog site that people are dropping comments that so busy. It should not make sense to have too many comments per page, right? You can break it into pages. If you are using Google AdSense and the likes, if you break it into pages, if anyone wants to see the old comments, they still need to like go to those pages, which increases your page views and automatically increase your AdSense revenue. So if you want to get email whenever anybody posts a comment, you check, or when a comment is aired for moderation, you check. And then before a comment appears, you want it to be manually approved. Most of the time you do this because of some people do not really have that common sense, right? So you want to manually approve posts, right? If that's the case, you need to check this. Then if you've already approved a comment from me and subsequently you don't want to keep approving, you can check this, which means comment authors must have a previously approved comment. So if you approve a comment from me now, my next comment you don't need to approve before it appears. All right. You can also moderate your comment. Some words that you don't want people to use when they are commenting. Right. You don't want them to use those words when they are commenting. That the fit for these two, that the details you add inside these two groups, all those sensitive words. Then when you enter it like that, if you want to show comment avatar, if people are registered and they have their avatar set up, it will show their image. And then if they are using an email address that has the avatar working on it, right, it will also show their image. All right. So if you want to make it suitable for all audience, depending, this is up to your discretion. So to how you want it. This is up to how you want that particular part to look like. Right. But you already know the things you need to do now regarding your website comments. And then when you are done, you click on Save Changes. Then for the media, you see the sizes of the thumbnail, medium size, large size. You can organize your upload month, year, depending on how you want it. All right. So when you are done, also most of the time you don't need to do anything here unless you install a plugin that has the settings included inside your media. All right. Then permalinks, one of the most important part of your WordPress setting. So permalink is right. So when you visit a blog or a website, you see maybe example.com/ at the article, the name of the article. All right. So you can see the permanent structure. This first one is a no-go area because your permanent structure has to be SEO friendly. By SEO friendly, it has to be easily understood by search engine crawlers and your visitors. All right. Day and name, don't use this also. Month and name, don't use it. Numeric, you cannot. The recommended the recommended permanent structure you can use is post name. You have your websites.com slash the URL or the slug of that particular post, which is better than using plain date, day and name, month and name, or numeric. Then if you want to have like a custom structure, depending on how complex your WordPress site is. Some WordPress sites are really complex. You may want to have a custom structure. You can use any of these available tags inside your custom structure, and that is what we have. But by default, and as a rule of thumb, as a recommendation, use post name in your permalink structure. And when you are done, you click on save changes. Right? You click on save changes. Right? So your privacy page is every website now has privacy policy page. So if you want to use the one from WordPress itself, you can just use this page. If you want to generate new, you can generate. Then when you are done, you go to that particular page, you can edit to match whatever you are doing with your WordPress website. Right? It must match whatever you are doing. Then there are some things you need to note in your settings for permalinks. If you if and when you create custom post types. Custom post type, we already have posts and pages. Those are post types. You can also have custom post types like events, like jobs, like courses, like products, and so on and so forth. All right. So when you have a custom post types, if you are a developer, if you are using code to do that, or you're using another plugin to create a custom post type for your site, then when you are done creating that particular post type, you need to come to your permalink settings here. You don't need to do anything, change any settings, just come, open this page and click on save changes. When you do that, you are rewriting the HT access rules. Right? So when you do that, you won't be seeing error 404 when you try to visit a post from that particular post type that you've created. Along the line you understand why, or you understand this kind of error. Because if you create a post type, say event now, and other event, when you create a post type, it will look like your normal posts. Right now, when you add new events, you create an event. Maybe an event is happening in Lagos, and you publish that event. If you try to visit that event from the front end, it will give you error 404, and that is because WordPress does not understand that path. You've not rewritten that particular path. So to ensure you don't see error 404 in that kind of situation, come to your settings, go to the permalink, scroll down, click on save changes. When you click on save changes, it will flush your rewrite rules, and then your new event can be visited from the front end. So that is it, guys. Those are the things you need to do on your WordPress settings. Then other settings can come in depending on the kind of theme you are using, or depending on the kind of plugins you've installed. If you install a plugin, some plugins have a way of creating another page inside your settings, right? Like if you are using the WordPress Performance Lab and the likes, you have some settings here, including inside your media in the general settings. No, the plugins you install or the theme you are using will determine if there will be an extra settings inside your WordPress settings here. Right? I may develop a plugin, and I may want to have a page for that plugin, maybe where you do some setup of that plugin to be inside this particular WordPress settings page. It may be one of these tabs. So if there is no plugin, if there is no theme, putting any items or any menu inside this WordPress settings, this is all you will have. But depending on the plugins you have, I'm repeating it, depending on the plugins and the theme you'll be using, they will determine if you'll be having some extra setup or settings to do inside this place. But if there is none, this is what you have. All right. So that is it, guys. If you have any question, can you let me know Now we make sure I reply. All right, see you in the next video where we talk about other parts of the WordPress dashboard. We are not rushing to building sites now. You need to understand the basics before you start building. All right, I will see you in the next video.